One of the first things you see when you walk into a bathroom is the sink. And the last thing you want to see in there is hair and toothpaste and anyway, so in this video, we are going to talk about how to clean the bathroom sink. It's quick, it's easy, and there's definitely a technique to it. Because I'm in my own house cleaning, my bathroom sink here is in pretty good shape. But if you're cleaning a bathroom sink for the first time, or you've encountered a particularly challenging sink in your home or a home you're cleaning, you would want to pre-treat first. And choosing the product would also be informed by how dirty or messy the sink actually is. If it's very dirty, very heavily soiled, you might want to use a product like Barkeeper's Friend. If it is just okay, you can use a little bit of dish soap. If it's just okay and you want a bit of extra abrasion, you can use dish soap with a little bit of baking soda, which is what I'm going to use. I'm going to do that by just generally applying it on the surface. I'll let it sit for a minute, and then I'll flip over to the scrubby side of my sponge and start to scrub. Now, there are several different ways that you can approach cleaning the basin of your sink. The method that I described is really great for regular maintenance. Even if you have a sink that is quite dirty, the same thing should work. However, you can leave your product wet on the surface to pre-treat for just a little bit longer, 5-10 minutes. This is where you might want to use a cleaning toothbrush. The drain, the overflow, and the drain cover have little nooks and crannies, and you can just give that a really good scrub. There's a lot of like sludge and slime that kind of builds up in there over time. It also helps to get rid of odors. And by the way, when you see it, you're really gonna never want to see it again, so it'll be a good motivator to clean. And of course, a bathroom sink cleaning video wouldn't be complete without talking about the shiny star of the show, the faucets, and of course the faucet handles. These areas get grimy for other reasons. I mean, your hands are dirty, they get soap on them or toothpaste, other products, and your hands are constantly using the faucet handles, so that gets dirty. And then of course, it is the supplier of water. So you're going to get some hard water or some mineral buildup naturally. So you've got to deal with those two things. People always want to see a shiny faucet. The easiest way to get there is to just put a little bit of vinegar on a microfiber cloth after you've cleaned your faucet. And to clean your faucet, by the way, I'm using the same thing, dish soap, baking soda. You might want to be mindful of the finish of your faucet just to make sure that it can tolerate the product that you're using. For example, if you have something like matte black, which we have in our primary bedroom, or if you have brass, you might want to use a specialty product that's good for that. In my bathroom, by the way, I just use a little bit of soapy water, sometimes a bit of vinegar, but I try not to use anything abrasive. You'll notice when I'm cleaning this sink, I'm not so eager to rinse and dry section by section. I kind of leave everything a mess until the very end. And once I get to that point, from the faucet all the way down to the drain, I will then rinse, give a nice final rinse to get rid of any of the grittiness from a cleansing product like baking soda or another cream cleanser. And then I will buff the sink dry. That is really the pièce de résistance. And to do this job, I am using our Maker's Clean Duo cloth. You might have seen me use it in our video that we just did on cleaning a bathtub. It's thick, it's thirsty, it absorbs so much moisture, and it leaves the inside of your sink or any surface that you're using it on shiny and clean, which is why I love it for this type of cleaning job. When it comes to the faucet, something you might notice build up over time is calcium or lime scale. The way that you can deal with this is by using either a specialty product like CLR, or you can use something like vinegar. Now, the aerator, which is the little thing under your faucet that kind of controls the water flow, if you kind of tip your head and look under the sink or under the faucet, you'll notice that it's probably crusty. So you can deal with that by putting some vinegar in a plastic bag, tying it off with an elastic band, and letting that sit overnight. The next morning, you can kind of scrub it off with a cleaning toothbrush, give it a rinse, and your water will run nice and free, and you won't have that crusty buildup anymore. Even if you unscrew your aerator, you might notice that there's some chunky, yucky buildup in there. You can just give that a good cleaning and put it right back on. My aerator, I actually can't unscrew. I need a special tool to do that. So just be mindful of that if and when you try to do that. The other thing you might notice is even around your faucet area or around the handles, if water has been sitting for a period of time, you might get that buildup as well. in which case you can use a similar product, or you can use vinegar soaked in or on a paper towel. Just let it sit for a little while and then scrub it off. But of course, if you have a natural stone surface, you can't do that. So tomato, tomato, just approach with caution. So now you know how to clean that bathroom sink so that it can sparkle and welcome anyone who walks into the bathroom. Well, not by saying welcome, just by looking really welcoming. And that brings me to this week's comment question, which is, I don't know if you want to say it or not, but what is the weirdest thing you've seen in a bathroom sink? For me, probably would have to be a bug, some sort of creepy bug. Anyway, let me know what you've seen in the comments down below. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the Makers Clean channel. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.